But the story dropped at 7 a.m. with a triple byline from ESPN.com. So you know if you've got three writers on it, it must be good. And I'm not being an ass. I mean, really, I'm being serious. If you got three different people devoted to a story and it ends up being something that's probably between 5,000 and 10,000 words, it's got to be good. This, to me, is significant, and it focuses on Commanders owner Daniel Snyder. We said yesterday with this discussion about, is it the quarterback, is it the coach?
Yeah.
If it's anybody, if it's any one person, it's Daniel Snyder, and just this looming negativity and uncertainty and what's going to happen. And one of the things I've said all along, dating back to July 1 of 2021 when they announced the punishment for the franchise, they were protecting him not because they like him. They're protecting him because they're protecting each other. And one of the things they have to worry about is Daniel Snyder going scorched earth on people. And there are people who believe that he's the one who leaked the Gruden emails a year ago that had Gruden ultimately step down as coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. And I believe there's a concern that if they try to force Snyder out, not only will he use every legal means necessary to fight back, he will leak to media anything he thinks he may know about others he can take down with him. So it's mutually assured destruction. Kids, that's a term from the 70s that has come back into vogue recently for exactly the same reason it was a term in the 70s, but this is a different application of it in this context. And I give you, and I'm going to read a paragraph here, just because I think it's very well written, and it's the first paragraph of the story, and I haven't had time to study the whole thing, but there's apparently a lot in there.
Yeah.
This tells you exactly what's going on with Dan Snyder. Dan Snyder does this thing when he feels cornered, says those who know him well. He paces in a hotel suite or on his super yacht or at Riverview, his $48 million Virginia estate. Cradling a drink in one hand, he tells members of his inner circle about the dirt he has accumulated on fellow owners, coaches, executives, even his own employees, all the stuff he's learned from other sources, including private investigative firms. He never says exactly what he knows, only that in his 23 years as owner of the team, he knows a lot. And in that zero-sum world of billionaires, this is how you survive. Snyder recently told a close associate that he has gathered enough secrets to blow up several NFL owners, the league office, and even Commissioner Roger Goodell.
Whoa.
He says privately they can't F with him.
Damn.
So that tells you. You want to know why Daniel Snyder's still the owner of the Washington Commanders? That paragraph tells you why he's still the owner of the Washington Commanders.
That's pretty amazing. You know, I think you and I have both, and you were on this from the get-go, but I think you and I have heard from enough people that, there's a lot of people that, tend to believe this to be very accurate, this paragraph that you just read there. And, it'll be interesting. That's a good one right there. And if he really is as spiteful and gathering information on these people like they're saying there, woo. Man, that get your popcorn. This could be exciting to watch as we go down, the rabbit hole as this court proceedings go on and everything that's around Daniel Snyder.
And remember, he's still kind of unofficially suspended. His wife represents the team at meetings. There's a league meeting next week in New York, so folks will be able to get together and compare notes and try to figure out what in the world they're going to do. And there have been reports from the Washington Post, and we've confirmed this, a push to get to 24, because 24 is what it takes to push him out, or at least commence the process of trying to push him out. You and what army, Daniel Snyder may very well say if it comes down to it, because he will have an army of lawyers ready to fight tooth and nail for him to retain ownership of the team. That's the difference. And that's the thing that I think between that willingness to fight you and willingness to fight dirty, potentially, that may keep him in that position as long as he wants to be there. And it very well could be that his kids end up with the team because that's why he refuses to sell. I've heard that time and again. He wants his kids to have the team. And I don't know why. At a certain point, he's like, why do we even want this? Like, this has got to be more trouble than it's worth. But still, it's a significant asset, and there aren't many of these teams out there. And this is, Chris, this is a point that I made this earlier in the year when the Stephen Ross stuff was blowing up with the Dolphins, when the Brian Flores case was filed, and there was a lot of scrutiny of Ross. If you have a club where the only requirement for membership is having enough money to buy one of the teams, and that's it. It doesn't matter, are you a good person? Are you a good business person? Are you a steward of the sport? Do you know anything about the sport? Do you know whether it's filled with air or feathers, as the old pejorative used to say? I mean, that's what you get. You're going to get some bad people if all that matters is how much money they have, and that's the only factor. You're going to get some good owners, and you're going to get some bad owners. You're going to get some good people, and you're going to get some bad people if you only have one factor: how much money do these people have?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there totally. Let alone, I mean, gosh, I grew up in a silver spoon environment. I've heard people say somewhat laissez-faire. This is rumor on the street. And, I've been around some rich people, and a lot of times those rich people have done things that are not that great to begin with, become billionaires. So, there's a little of everything involved in that one. And, man, those are some strong statements in that paragraph right there. That really is. And it's going to be interesting to see. But I don't disagree with your main or overarching point. One of the biggest issues with the Commanders is leadership of the football team. And that's led to a lot of dysfunctional things and made it a hard workplace environment for Ron Rivera and building a culture of success and all of that. And there's no doubt that Daniel Snyder's the guy to blame there. So I'll be interested to see where it all goes when it's all said and done.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.